Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Talking Shirt. It's been a while, but we're back with Unwantd FC. Now there's not one, but there's two. Hey guys, how you going?
What's up? Hey, really good, really good. Kevin here, Keith.
Well, last time we spoke, Keith was in Germany, so now you're both together. And last time we spoke, there was a magpie in your background that I really enjoyed. What's changed since then? What's new, guys?
Since then, we've come a long way. 2021, still in Brisbane, but the brand has continued to elevate. We're working on a really exciting rebrand, which I've shared with you, Alex. And we've had that in the back of our mind for a while. Keith came back from Germany a few weeks ago, so being in the same room, it's been really productive, hasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it'd be a vacation, but every day it's just like sip a coffee and then start talking about new upcycling concepts. And after this year, working remotely, different time zone, it's just super efficient just being next to him right now. And we just come up with ideas on the spot.
So really exciting year ahead.
So is coffee better together or over Zoom?
Together, I think.
Yeah, in the same time zone as well.
And is coffee better in Germany or in Australia?
I wouldn't say there's many good coffee spots in Germany. Unless
in Berlin, there's lots.
Berlin, yeah, I was going to say, but I live in the south, Nuremberg, so coffee is from a machine, basically.
So you're based in Nuremberg, but you're wearing a Munich top, yeah?
Nice top.
What kit are you guys wearing? Let's tell the viewers, because this is also going to be on Spotify. So if you are listening to Spotify, thank you so much for watching on YouTube and listening on Spotify. So tell us and describe the kits you're both wearing.
I'll keep that in mind. Kevin here, I'm rocking the Nigeria 2018. Someone just offered me a swap for a few vintage kits and it was too hard to say.
Really?
Yeah. And
that's nice.
I got onto it at retail. So yeah, it was a nice swap. And one of my favorite jerseys now. It's just such an iconic pattern.
Keith here, the guy from Germany. I'm rocking the TSV 1860 home kit from '96. This one actually I found on the eBay site in Germany. It's crazy compared to Australia how many like cool vintage kits you find on the marketplace. Whether it's vintage or like super old school classics. The German marketplace is crazy for that.
Yeah, excess kits.
That kit itself has been online in many different sort of websites, and I've always wanted that kit. I just love that simplicity of Nike's designs back in the 90s. Even that sponsor is that a beer, Lowenbrau?
Yeah, it's
Lowenbrau,
yeah. Oh, classic German and beer sponsors. I'm wearing the Park jersey that they released recently. Sam, the man behind it, is a great inspiration for both yourselves and myself. And I thought it was a good fit in for today's episode. So Sam, if you're watching this, mate, you need to be on an episode. I've been trying to set this up for months. But look, today's episode, it's almost been a year since our last chat. I think what you two are doing for the community, but also the future of humanity is really important. Zero waste, and even just making sure we don't, make a lot of waste in our lifetimes is really important. But look, what's a lesson learned in 2020 for you both?
2020, it was a strange one, wasn't it? I always talk about it as a blessing in disguise. As you're familiar with the whole COVID thing, people were stood down. Myself, I was stood down. Keith had to work from home remotely for a lot of the year, but that gave us more time to build Unwantd. Actually, last March and April, during that time I was stood down, I was able to build a website, a central platform to host all of our information, to allow customers to check out instead of DMing us the previous year. That was how we were handling payments, and it was so inefficient. But now we're able to have a website, we're able to merch our product, tell stories through a blog space. And that was such a good decision to go ahead with, with Shopify, such an easy platform to use, isn't it? And from there, we gained a lot of traction with retailers like Over the Pitch and Seoul, Ultra Football.
Amazing collaboration. Good work.
Yeah, and that just kind of built our brand. So it was a massive year, wasn't it? Looking back now, I haven't really had the time to look back and reflect too much because we're just always going and going.
I guess with product as well, we've come a long way. Every few months, new product line. And this year we learned to really make product functional. For example, I got here like a boot bag. We sort of
do love those.
What do like football players or people who love the game need? And we're starting to catering more towards that. rather than just sticking to one product line like the tote bag.
And like initially, we were kind of spamming the product out there. We try to produce big collections to give people variety of product options, but now we're just trying to keep it minimal and not overproduce, because the end goal is not to add to the cycle of waste, but instead just never overproducing and going beyond sustainability and focusing more on that zero waste segment.
Yeah, perfect. I was going to say, is there something in 2020 that you did wrong and that you wish you didn't do?
2020. Yeah, there's little mistakes here and there that we learn, but you never know until you try, right?
Yeah. Like for example, like sorry to put you guys on the spot, but for me, it was buying too many brand new jerseys. You know.
Yeah. We all fall to that trap, don't we? Just the hype of it gets us sometimes, but we're football fans, and it's really hard to control yourself sometimes. For us, little things like price points, just getting the price points right. We are a small football boutique. We only operate on e-com online, so we don't have that destination for look and feel of product. So in the end, price point is a hard one. It does cost us a bit to create these upcycled pieces, but without having it in hand, it's really hard to justify the prices sometimes. And it takes a while to convert the customer online. So getting the price point right, we played around with it, and I think we're finally getting close to like a good medium price.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
But I don't think that's a big issue in many ways, because again, you said the word boutique, and that's what you guys are. And I think apart from that, you are growing in many other, areas and creating more products. So, customers, they make no sense sometimes. They go and spend thousands of dollars on something they'll probably wear once. Yeah. And then there's a beautiful design and hard work, literally your sweat and tears, and sometimes blood because you may stab yourself with a pin or something. But it's just frustrating when you sort of put your hard effort into something and people don't understand that there's a price behind that. So look, don't feel bad about that. That's just it's just customers,
You're right there, and I think that's become our unique selling proposition, right? Like that's what makes us unique. That's what makes Unwantd FC. Like everything is one of one. It's a consumable design when we're not just reworking something for the sake of it. So
of course, but you wouldn't have the connections with pitch or even ultra football. So
yeah,
you get me? Good work on that, by the way. So when I saw the pitch guys have your stuff on their website, I was like, damn, this is the collaboration I wanted to see. I hope to visit that store one day, even just visit Korea. But like when I saw you do some tote bags for them, and then a couple of weeks later I saw Ultra Football, that was amazing. Is there anything future like that for yourselves planned in Europe? Maybe don't have to break any news. You can say maybe.
Another collection with Pitch next month.
Beautiful.
They've been hosting a PSG pop-up for a while, so they haven't really had much store space to merch anyone else's product, but good on them. Like, I mean, they've done so well in the past year, and PSG approached them to do a pop-up. Like that's amazing, isn't it? But next month they opened up a new store just recently in a department store. So the space is smaller, but real cozy, and we're just working on building a relevant creation of product for next month. Probably a few boot bags, tote bags, maybe face masks, because COVID is still like over there. So.
I thought we'll do one episode without mentioning that horrid word, but here we're mentioning COVID.
It's crazy that's still around, isn't it?
Look, and it's funny because your face mask I love so much, and thank you again for giving me that beautiful design. Look, face masks are so, I saw a lot of companies start making them, and it's just one of those things that's going to be out there. But something I really loved about your one, it was really light, and you had that little pocket in the back so I can put filters. So I really appreciate that. And like now that Melbourne sort of eased compared to you in Brisbane, who don't even have anything. But for me, being in lockdown for 6 months, it was really, well used. So thank you for that.
All good. Yeah. Did you get some good use out of it?
Oh yeah. Don't worry. We got heaps of use out of that. I had to give it a good wash a few times. Like when I mean a few times, almost every day. Let's talk about just 2020 for the manufacturer's point of view before we get into Unwantd and how that's going. Do you think that too many manufacturers put too much stock online? I believe so, because like the Inter Milan kit, I really love the third kit that is for the viewers and everyone listening. But I check 6 months later and there's still every stock or every size available. Is that something that, is a bit, misrepresented in the scene where they don't understand about wastage?
Yeah, definitely. Profit comes first, I think, for these brands. We've worked in the industry. They have so much profit margins to work with. And in the end, if something's marked down 50%, guess what? They're still making money.
Yeah.
How do you feel
the
about
volumes behind it? It's actually crazy because they actually estimate from last year, the season before, which kit sells well. And now you look at the third kits, you look at like the third, they're so disruptive. Even I can't say no to not buying it, right? But yeah, you think of the home away third, that's already 3 kits there. And you think of the volumes behind that. And yeah, as Kevin said, even if it doesn't sell in the first few weeks, it'll end up at a discounted price.
For brands, the more they buy, the cheaper per unit becomes. Like, wholesale is a massive part of business nowadays. So it's a part of their strategy to have a markdown strategy at the end of the season. So there is a lot of waste, I think. It does diminish and saturate the kit market. In the end, one day it might burst a bubble. People might think this kit's just going to end up being marked down, or there might be a better kit being released later on in the year. So I'm not going to buy this. But I think consumers are becoming smarter. There are more consumers out there that are
That's true.
The waste as well and wanting to buy vintage, like people like ourselves.
Well, that's funny because Nike has a 4th kit coming out in late January for most of their elite teams, which again is just more money for them. And then there's all these collaborations that we saw this year with Human Race, the Baller times Puma, and even the Brain Dead times Roma. So like there's going to be lots of material being used. And that's what really upsets me, because it's like in the 2000s and before that, previously, like you buy a kit and now it's valuable because there was limited amounts of it. But now, like, do we think that these kits are going to be valuable in the future because there's so many of them? How many are going to go in the waste?
That's a good question, isn't it, Alex? Like all these kits, all these awesome designs, will they be valuable in 10 years' time? I think yes, but they won't be as valuable as
you won't get that
the vintage kits we have today. That feeling.
Well, the kit you're wearing is, so Keith's kit, there's not many of them. And that's beautiful design, but it's still not at a price point that you see like the snowflake behind me. But your kit that you're wearing, Kev, the beautiful Nigeria kit, the new one, even though it's a different design, I don't think the new one's going to be as important in future time than your one, because there's so many available. Like Nike.com still has stock.
Yeah, it's a different story.
It's a bit upsetting.
Yeah, we were chatting about the brands and what they're doing in the kit space recently, just the other day, Keith, and we mentioned that there are some good things that's happening coming out of Nike and Adidas. For example, the zero waste element that
is true
in the kit space, and Parley and what's the other
one? Blue with Adidas, like using more recycled polyester. So they're realizing it's a must to start using more recycled materials. But at the end of the day, where do those kits end up? Probably still on the shelves or in the waste. So
they're aware of sustainability. There's a sustainability aspect to it, but in the end, how transparent are they with that message? We're not 100% sure.
I always say sometimes a kit can have a good spiel about it, like, hey, look, this is zero waste. It's like reused from materials. But when consumers buy it, they don't really think about that. And it's the people like us that are a bit open-minded to this topic that, it does speak to us. But I do hope in the future that, the big brands do more for zero wastage than just say it on their kits that this is made from recycled material. Like, I'd love to actually see Nike and Adidas go out beyond doing that and actually showing them doing the process, or even connecting with people like yourselves and say, hey, what can we do together?
Let's upcycle a local collection, like find an upcycler in every market, Asia, Europe, North America, South America. It'd be easy. And just
there's many potential. I know 2020 was a bit of a weird one, but look, I think 2021 is looking amazing for you as a brand and as brothers and as creators. I'm really excited because the new branding that you have made for yourself is really epic. And I love the little tags and everything that you've designed. The logo itself is unbelievable. Let's talk about it. So what's new for you guys? What's going to come up in 2021?
Yeah, so after establishing in 2018, 2 years on, we felt like our product has become elevated. Our brand has become elevated. It was just in due time for everything else to be updated. So, our new logo is less bold, more minimal, very transferable across print, digital, apparel, and product. And it was just due for an update. But we're really excited to have the recycle elements all in one place in our logo. That was lacking for a while. We've always spoken about how can we capture someone's attention on what we do at first glance. So for the listeners out there who hasn't seen the logo yet, it's just two arrows reflecting like a recycled type of logo. Our old logo we found was very bold, very hard to transfer across different platforms from digital to print.
It also didn't scream sustainability.
Yeah.
Like we stand for upcycling, and looking at the logo without looking at our profile, there's little information about what we actually do. Now with the new logo, with the recycle arrows around it, I think it just screams out sustainability.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah. And most important, I think it's just more recognizable. We spelt out Unwantd FC now, all in lower caps. And, you see it at first glance, you can easily talk about it, repeat it. And it's just a good way of promoting our core values and morals.
That's perfect. And has anything else changed for the business? Any new messages or maybe new products coming? I know 2020 was tote bags and masks. Then you introduced the boot bags as mentioned. But look, when I look at your brand, there's so many possibilities and even other sports in the future. Have you ever thought about, chasing and making the world a lot more safer and greener?
Yeah, 100%. Like maybe even diving deeper into just fashion pieces.
Of course.
Haven't done that just yet, but we see a potential there. NBA would be cool, but at the end of the day, we're just so connected with football. We know the football consumer. But if there's anyone out there that wants to collaborate in a different space, we're always open to doing something cool.
I could definitely see something amazing happening, like even recreating actual football with patches. So that's a pretty cool idea for you guys. Even if you did little boutique stuff, because when you think about it, your pieces are art too. So I'm sure you can do one-off pieces and people will be like, this is amazing. Look, unfortunately, 2020 was that year that you couldn't really travel. Are you looking to set base in Germany maybe in the future when you go back, or Europe? And is there any goals like that for you in the future?
I think I'm going back to Germany later this month because my job's actually located there, just south of Germany.
Yeah.
So I'll probably give it another few years and definitely want to come back to Australia. I still call Australia home. But yeah, that's my plan.
So, I mean, it would be good to kind of have some type of base in a bigger city, connect with more consumers, people like yourself, creators, bigger demographic for us to work with to come up with ideas, something to keep in mind for the future. But Keith being based in Europe, he's able to source a lot of vintage kits for us, which
lucky you.
Our advantage so far. And myself being in Brisbane right now, it's a very livable city, affordable.
Is that a plug? Is that a plug for Brisbane, the most friendliest city, as they won the other day?
Everyone come through, yeah. You've come to Brisbane a few times, Alex,
Yeah, I'll come to Brisbane. Brisbane's a good place. I think Brisbane's been one of those cities where you just get lost easily.
Yeah, and actually, how did you find the atmosphere at Perry Park when you shot our NPL team, Brisbane Strikers versus...
Amazing. I actually love their kits as well. Funny enough, actually, so Venice Beach FC?
Who, sorry?
It's Venice Beach, like the beach in California. They're in FIFA.
Oh, right.
So they're actually known as VBFC, pretty funny as Aussies. VB always stands for Victoria Bitter, but VBFC, Venice Beach FC, the gentleman who runs that with a few of his friends, he actually played at Brisbane Strikers.
No way.
Yeah. I know he's American, but he came to Australia seeking a career down here, and then he moved back and started Venice Beach FC, which is a similar message to what you, Park, myself. It's about creating football in a community. So you should hit him up, and maybe you can send some products over to him.
Awesome. Yeah. We've been making
send a message.
Yeah. It's such a big market over there. It'd be a cool market to target, I think.
The US is growing, and I think Australia is growing too. If it wasn't for people like yourselves, Park, there's many of us in the scene, but I think we all work together to create something. Look, I'm really excited to see your new branding. Is there anything else for Unwantd that you'd like to share before we finish off the last subject of today?
2021. Anything you'd like to add, Keith?
I guess what you just mentioned, Alex, building a tighter community and growing together as creators. Like looking at Europe this year, I saw like never before, more Australian creators popping up onto the space. You have like influencers, and then you also have like people like us, upcycling and really trying to build a community. So yeah, I really want to push from our side, like a tighter space, and hopefully we can grow together in 21.
Beautiful. Any last messages on zero waste?
Yeah, just going beyond sustainability for ourselves and the consumer out there, just thinking before you really purchase, is there longevity out of what you're going to buy? Or if you're upcycling like us, or if you're a boutique selling product, do you really have to buy this to sell? Do you really think sell-through is going to be high on this? Do you think there's a consumer out there? So think twice, and just don't damage the environment anymore. We've done
I agree.
It's done so much in Mother Nature already. So in the long term, sustainability and zero waste is only going to become more relevant. So yeah, just be mindful, I think, and consume ethically.
Of course. Look, like I said early in the episode, buying new kits is a bit of a curse. We rush into decisions and we buy, and then we realize that we don't need it, and it just sits on our thing, and it just adds more product to the waste. And look, I really am thankful for the opportunities to buy these kits, but I do understand and do appreciate your message, because a lot of us need to understand that, maybe think twice before you buy something.
Yeah, and try to support local where you can. Yeah,
Always.
I think a shirt like what you've got on has such a powerful message. I think there's a backprint on there, isn't there? The number 31.
Yeah, I can't turn around. I'll show my pants.
Home office fans. No, it's all good. And I think Sam, the founder of Park, put a really good message out there. He put on number 31, which is a goal that United Nations has actually pushed. And that's the type of brand I'd like to support if I'm buying new. Something that's spreading social impact. And I think for every kit jersey he sells, he's donating to a kid in need in Southeast Asia and Africa, isn't he? So, support those businesses that have those powerful values and ethics.
And that's what he got for my Christmas present, a Park SSC shirt. And
there you go.
That, think of that compared to like a brand new Nike drop. So
true.
You feel good as a consumer as well.
That is really true. And I think I'd love to see something from you guys in the future, a future jersey of your own, or a panel piece together, all different parts. That's a pretty good idea there. And, donations, and it's a piece of art. I know Blood In, Blood Out does something similar for a lot of the big time athletes. I'm not sure if you heard about them.
So they do mashups for pro expos,
But there's always opportunity there. But look, honestly, Unwantd has taught me a lot of things. Previously, before I met you and found you on Instagram, there was a lot of things I was doing wrong, and I've thought about it. I think 2020, I did a lot of, just cardboard, plastic, separating a lot of my waste, and learning about, how I can reduce my waste. And when it comes to football jerseys, a lot of us just buy and forget what we're doing to the environment, let alone the community. But finishing off with the episode, what's the last kit that you recently bought? What's a favorite kit that you, a retro one that you've given a second life to?
You've bought a lot recently.
I've bought a lot of
vintage
recently.
kits.
Ajax 96, Benfica.
Oh, that gold one's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, naughty.
And what I have on here, so I love the marketplace in Europe. There's a lot of kits you can give new life to. These collectors in their 40s, 50s, they no longer wear many kits. So people like us,
they can't fit in their dad bods.
Yeah,
it's a dream for us. Yeah.
Kev, do you have one?
For me, there's so many. I appreciate so many little details. Every kid has that story to tell. But just most recently, your mate, PFC Vintage.
Hey, good plug.
Forlan backprint. I grew up loving Forlan when he played for United.
Yeah.
Another Hong Kong to play for Kitchi as well. So yeah, have a connection.
That's amazing.
I love J League. Look at that emblem.
Oh wow.
Yeah, shout out to PFC.
That's a good segue, because Paul, PFC. Okay, so I don't think you guys have ever seen this kit, and I'm doing an episode soon. But have you ever seen this kit?
Oh, no. I'm not sure. I might have had glances. Is it a training top or?
No one knows. It looks like a live. No one knows. I thought it may be one of the first prototypes of their Chinese New Year pieces, because there's elements of like the Chinese what do you call it, feather and stuff. Like there's like a weird design to it, and it looks similar to the Nike or no, sorry, Adidas one they released last year with the dragon.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, look, this is something I'm doing research on. I'm trying to find the source of it because there's nothing online. But
Someone comment below.
literally comment below. But yeah, have you seen how amazing this is?
That's so cool.
Yeah.
We're both United supporters,
Yeah.
so like, yeah, it just connects with us.
Oh, look, I think that's the best thing about having football jersey appreciation is that we all start crying when we see this stuff.
Long sleeve. I remember you wanted a long sleeve David Beckham jersey.
Yeah, finally got one.
Yeah, awesome.
But like these kits would have been sitting in someone's closet or ended up in the rubbish. So I'm really happy that I get to display in my room and talk to you. And it's basically a piece of art.
Yeah, exactly. Create content from it and build a community around these vintage kits.
100%. Look, I'd love to chat to you guys a lot. I know you got a long day of work and a lot of things happening. Is there any sign-off messages you'd like to say before you end the episode, both of you?
Just a massive thank you to the listeners and yourself for creating this platform again. Going back to building community, this is very important for us Australians moving forward and putting ourselves on the map. So yeah, thank you so much. And we promise you an exciting year ahead in 2021. Mm-hmm.
Keith, anything? Just don't let your brother say everything.
Setting this platform up again in Europe. I was listening to your podcast from over there, and
Thank you.
Really interesting, and just really excited to see what 2021 brings. I think with COVID slowly transitioning out, there's a lot of opportunity for us in Australia. Yeah,
yes.
so.
No, perfect, guys. Thank you so much. I know now it's 9:37. For anyone listening, this was recorded in January. Something I need to learn to say because sometimes I upload an episode pretty late and then everyone's like, what? You're not living that situation. But thank you, guys. I look forward to seeing whatever comes in the future. It's a big year ahead for all of us, but I really can't wait to see what Pitch will share for your next product. So looking forward to that. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Alex.
Thank you, Alex.
Take care.
And to all the listeners, make sure you subscribe to both their socials and to our socials.
Thank you.